All right. Well, that concludes this Miami Heat season, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, took it right in the peanuts tonight. It was a tough way for it to end. Um, I guess this is probably what it feels like to be a Thunder fan back in 2012 when you didn't feel like you had any shot in the world. I guess probably also it didn't feel similar to 2014 because the Heat just never were in that series. But I am just tremendously happy with this season and proud. Tonight sucks, especially after just hearing all the guys just wrapped up doing video for their post game and audio for their post game. That sucks. It was it was hard. I never ever see Eric Spoelstra like that. He was teary eyed. Gogi, Goran crying. You might as well just stab me in the fucking heart. That's terrible. Jimmy, love him afterwards. He's saying, he still has to keep up his end of the bargain. Bam's distraught. That dude doesn't take losses well. He takes losses very hard. And yeah, man, that was tough. It was one of those ones where I felt really good coming into today because of you felt like you had the Lakers a little bit shook. But as much as it pains me to say, that guy's one of the best players of all time for a reason. Maybe the best player of all time. He was a common force, and they were good to go. But it was an awesome season. I mean, this is in a lot of ways, and it's tough to say this with any season that doesn't involve Dwayne Wade as a Heat fan, because Dwayne Wade is our Michael Jordan. But this is going to be, so it's tough to call anything the most memorable season that doesn't have him in it. But to have a season like this after you lose Dwayne Wade is pretty bananas, especially like normally you don't get another one of those guys. And so the fact that, he kind of gift wrapped us Jimmy Butler to come here as a parting gift. And the same time, you have all these incredible young guys gelling together. Bam getting his first opportunity to flourish and just becoming an absolute stud. Goran just having this awesome season off the bench where he's an absolute terror scoring force, a more vocal leader. And it was just an incredible, it's going to be a season I never forget. A lot of it's going to be because, I not only, this was the first season on a personal level, like this was the first season that I was, hosting Morning Drive for the station on the Heat station. So it was just fun waking up with you guys every day, celebrating wins, talking about the wins. I went and covered basically every Heat game the night beforehand, getting to see what those guys were like in the locker room. This love was genuine. This isn't a bubble thing. Like these guys have been like this basically since Kaiser College. Like they've been this close to each other. So it hurts. It hurts seeing them all distraught like this. So it was an amazing season. Really, really enjoyed it from just the group of guys that they were. And I don't know what I don't know what the future holds, because it was a tough go of it. And I know a lot of people, like, it's weird seeing the people who are pissed off at the performance today. Yeah, it was a shitty performance by your Heat. It was a shitty performance in the in that game, but man, they just didn't have anything left. I don't know what to tell you guys. Like, you guys don't want to hear this, but like, that was a team that was tapped out. The Lakers are really, really good. Jimmy Butler played all of the game beforehand. If you guys saw the videos of him afterwards, couldn't walk. I think because of that, they're basically, trying to have Goran go out there and give them any kind of relief. Bam's playing with one effing arm. Goran's playing with 1 foot. You got a 20-year-old rookie, and then who are you left with? Duncan Robinson and Kendrick Nunn? So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. If you guys weren't impressed with that Heat season this year, I don't know what the fuck impresses you. Like you want to be one of these nerds who wants to be out there saying, "I would have rather seen the Bucks in that series." Oh, really? You would have? You would have rather seen Brooke Lopez up in that bitch? Because either he gentlemen they swept Giannis, they gentlemen swept the Bucks. Oh, the Celtics, you would have been more impressed with that, really, with the with all their 6'6" guys that were rolling around. Bam stuffed them all into a locker. All right. And probably injured himself, by the way, on one of the greatest plays you'll see in Heat history, where he blocks Jason Tatum at the rim in overtime. So, hell out of here. I don't know what to tell you. Like this dude, trade Bam for Cat. Poof. Old grandma arms, Carl Anthony Towns. I'm sure he'll show up. Jesus Christ. Anyway, it was a really really incredible year. A really incredible year. Let's see. Jenna's surprise. Good for your Lakers. Congratulations on your win. Good for you. Let's see. Let's see. Antonio, incredible season, unbelievably entertaining. So much heart, amazing guts displayed. Thank you, Miami Heat. I agree with you, Antonio. Amazing. Amazing year. I don't even understand who are the dummies that are like. Who are you people that are? You realize that like Jimmy Butler and Karl Anthony Towns hate each other's fucking guts, right? Like, there's a reason he's not in Minnesota. I don't even know what you're doing. Who's this guy, Mason? Yeah, all right, Mason. You know what, bro? Hey, do me a favor. I'm taking him out of the fucking chat. You banned. That's just stupidity. I don't know what to do with you. Team is very young. Hero and Bam only getting better. Agreed, man. He is both of those guys super young. Tough series for Tyler. You know, Tyler really shined in the Eastern Conference Finals. He had a tough go of it in this series. They really really exposed him. They attacked him a lot, especially after Goran went out. It was a really I thought it was a lot of responsibility put on his shoulders. Obviously, he shined basically in every level, but yeah, it was a tough go for Tyler. I would say, you know, of all the Heat players, probably had the roughest series of important Heat players, the guys that you relied upon. But he's young. He's 20 years old. 20 years old, 37 points. You know, in an Eastern Conference Finals. So good. Let's see. LeBron bought all the clutch agents. AD, KCP, Morris. LeBron owns the NBA. No doubt. Rich Paul sans pants tonight, man. That is I'm sure what's going on there. Goron plays completely different series. Very much agree. It'll never get spoken of because, you know, why would it if it was anybody? You know what the funny thing was though? I would say this, like LeBron was definitely finals MVP. But anybody who thinks that AD was like, I saw votes going down today during the series, like, well, who's going to be finals MVP, AD or LeBron? And I was like, I'm like, if anything, number two in this series was Jimmy Butler, who was not Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis did a lot of front running in this series. You know, had like one, like when it really mattered, had like one important game of the series. But I was like, LeBron is so clearly the finals MVP. What the hell is anybody even debating that for? That was a weird one to me. Throat's a little tickly today, everybody. Let's see. They rushed the Goron starts. I don't understand that point. He played one game in the series and he got hurt. I don't know what you want, dude. I like Myers, but I don't think that he's back. We need to get a better big. I don't know. It depends what Myers is looking for. You know, he was really good with him in the start of the year. I do think that it was he physically got worn down. I'm going to be interested to see what happens with Kelly O if Kelly O comes back or if somebody's going to offer him a longer term deal because I do think that he makes what does he make 14 13 14 but he's got to be I would imagine pretty annoyed with the yo-yo with the minutes. And I did think that today. I was like, why don't it is weird that they just they didn't try. Not that it would have been a not that it would have mattered. Lakers hit him with the stone cold stunner. They really did. Ba, 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 ba. Giannis 2.0 KZ season upon us. We shall see. We shall see what he brings. I'm looking forward to it. Whenever the hell the NBA restarts, who knows? Let's see. Let's see. I like Spo. Kept Bam in the first half when he was struggling. Yeah, that's going to be one of the one. I really just, I don't know if it's Bam did better when the pressure was kind of off and he was pressing. That first half was bad from him. I do definitely think he wasn't himself physically. That left shoulder got messed up since game one of the Eastern Conference Finals, but got re-aggravated. That dude's a stud, man. I don't know. I don't know what has to get slapped. Everybody's gonna say, "Give him a 3-point shot, give him a jumper." First of all, that jumper is getting real wet from the mid-range game. He's looking real good with that. I do think there needs to be a little bit of more of a fuck you on the guy attitude from him at certain points. But that guy is Jimmy. Like Jimmy's so clearly the guy on this team with this. And he's 23 and he's just like blossoming all those superpowers that he has. People go crazy with the 3-point shot. I don't think that's super necessary at this point in his career. Like that's something like, you want to talk about when he's like 27, does he need a 3-point shot? Okay, then we can talk. But like, what did we just see? We just saw Jimmy Butler basically, take over a series without a 3-point shot. Like how much 3-point shooting was important from the superstars in this series? Not really that important, to be honest with you. It was big in game 5 with LeBron. He had that going for you, but I thought we saw that the role guys got relied upon and did well with their 3-point shooting for the most part. It really wasn't the superstars. Sometimes you have those nuclear guards, Jamal Murray, Damian Lillard, all those guys who can nail some 6 shots, but I don't think that's this. I think the thing for Bam that needs to be that's just the next level for him is to know when to go take those moments when he has the matchups. And I thought we saw more of that when it came to the Eastern Conference Finals, but this is a tough matchup, dude. You got LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is about as polished of a full package of what Bam is, and he's bigger. It's a tough matchup, dude. Let's see. Listen to me, Miles Turner from the Pacers. I don't see it. Nah, not into it. Doesn't tickle my fancy. Do you think that Giannis will come here to be a third option? No, I think Giannis would come here to be the first option, probably. But Giannis has a lot of soul searching to do, dude. He just got gentleman swept by the Heat. So, Dame not coming to Miami. He's never leaving Portland. I agree with you. I don't think that he is either. Although he has been very Heat flirtatious this past week, more so than I've seen Damian Lillard be in the past. But I do agree with you. I do think he seems like a guy who will actually stay. Jimmy Butler is not a Batman. He's a Robin. I don't know, dude. It looked like if he had a healthy fucking Robin, he would have been pretty good as a bat. Is he not a Batman compared to fucking LeBron? Dude, first of all, fanboy. if you have two 35-point triple doubles in the NBA Finals, and you're not a Batman, where everybody fawns over Allen Iverson and him getting one game against Kobe and Shaq Lakers. If that's not a Batman, what the hell is Batman? Let me just, does that mean only LeBron is Batman? Maybe in your mind that's all that means. But like, the guy literally won 2 finals games playing every single minute of the game by himself with a child, a dude who was playing in Sioux Falls last year, an undrafted G leaguer. Like if that's not Batman, I don't know like what you have some high fucking standards for Batman. Jesus Christ. Guys, like the tough reality of it is like there's a lot of, it's like it's not a crime not to be as good as LeBron James. Like that's if that doesn't make Jimmy Batman, then shit, I guess he's not Batman. But if you think Giannis is Batman, well, Jimmy's the fucking Joker because he fucking eliminated Giannis in 5 games. In fact, he really swept him. He swept him, and gentlemen swept his team. Jesus Christ. He just can't do it by himself. Yeah, no shit. Did LeBron? He had Anthony Davis. Ugh, but I tell you what did hurt today. Fucking Rondo. That's had to be a weird conundrum. LeBron James winning a finals game with a guy who wore a T-shirt or was sitting next to a fan who said LeBron is a bitch. That's a weird conundrum. That was weird. The Rondo points killed me. I don't like that guy. Any of those former Celtics. How much better do you think Oladipo can make us? I think he'd be a great addition, but I'm very skeptical on how much you should give up for Oladipo. It feels weird, and I know that he was injured. It's this is such a strange conundrum for Heat fans because like we watched all these guys that you want to come bail your team out, but you also kicked their ass. So like I watched Oladipo and I watched him this past series, and it was odd because man, it felt like Oladipo was playing that series against the Heat, almost flirting with them. But I think he'd help, but I wouldn't empty the war chest for him. So that's weird. Lakers not once in the post game do the players, coaches, owners mention the Heat or congratulate them on the season. Well, listen, not everybody's as high class as the Heat, man. I don't know what to tell you. He could use Al Horford. I don't know if you heard, man. He's on a big contract with the Sixers. It's kind of locked up on those, vaunted Sixers teams that, were supposed to make Jimmy Butler regret life. I cried when Spo cried. A piece of me cried. I didn't cry. I cried when Goran cried. Spo was hurt, man. He's like, we absolutely thought we were going to Game 7, and I think what sucks probably too is like it got you got slapped in the face that Game 7 was not going to be there immediately, and I always think the Heat are back in it. Even like there was many losses for the Heat to pick from this year, but in the postseason, like even the games where they were like not really in it with the Celtics, I still always thought that the Heat had a chance to rally back. And just the way Tyler was playing, how much of a struggle it was for Dunks to get a shot off, how good Lakers were defensively. Bam being all out of sorts. Goran clearly hobbled. Like this was the first Heat game, even with as shitty as it was in the first half. I was very much of it was like, they just don't. They're just out of it tonight. They don't have a shot. And I don't ever feel that way when I watch the Heat. I don't ever feel that way. But that being said, I'm going to cherish this run, man. I'm going to cherish this Heat team that nobody expected, that everybody disrespected. Those performances by Jimmy Butler in the finals were all-timers. Friday night was so much fun. I loved laughing at the Lakers and Frank Vogel crying about the referees. You know, it's just they just they just didn't have enough in the reserves. That's it. You know, and they'll be back. I really do. Like I saw people who were like, "Oh, well, I think the Celtics will be back." I'm like, really? Well, what? Where are the Celtics getting so much better? Because the Heat beat them in 6 games. Seemingly have a player who they can't stop, who's only going to get into, who's just entering his prime. Maybe the Bucks pull the Chris Paul trigger, and that'll be, unlock the key to something big. I think in the East, like the big wild card is probably going to be the Nets, but you feel great with those two weirdos. Who knows? A lot of Boogie Cousins texts. Yeah, Jimmy does love Boogie Cousins. Kentucky. Boogie Cousins would be I could see it. Somebody says Ronikov Tobin. I don't know, man. I'm probably gonna go get tested tomorrow. I think. Although my son came home with some kind of cold like 2 days ago, and you guys wonder why I didn't do a stream. I was like runny noses and whatnot. I haven't had a fever, but he had like snot nosed kids. They're gross, and I had like the same thing that he did. And then like it all went out of my nose, and now it's like just right in my chest. So I think I'm probably gonna hit CVS tomorrow and do one of those swabs, but I'm staying away from everybody. I'm in the garage, and I talk in a microphone and by myself for a living. So I'm a hermit. I'm not affecting anybody, but I hope not. I don't think so because I haven't had fever, but I might. Who knows? Don't sleep on the Sixers. I think I'm going to do quite the sleeping on the Sixers. Hey, do me a favor. You know what? I'm going to sleep on the Sixers. Wake me up when they want to show up. Then I'll be ready to go. Trade Dragic for Van Vliet. How dare you? Not trade Dragic. That's my guy. Gogi hip checking LeBron. I did love that. Go to Eckerd's instead. Eckerd's is a throwback name. Opinion on Joel Embiid to Miami. I don't know how you. I think my couple thoughts on it. One, if you would just tell me on my face, I could add Joel Embiid to the Heat. I wonder how him and Bam would fit. I wonder about his shape. I wonder about his health. And then I also don't think that the Sixers do that move without getting Bam. I don't think that they make that move. Like, is Tyler Hero enough for them to want to part with a guy who's kind of the face of their franchise? Maybe. I don't know. But I don't love it. Love your show. Who do you think that he will get next year? If you wouldn't mind, I wouldn't mind a trade for Paul George. Man, I'm so not into Paul George. I never really have been into Paul George. Derek Jones is gone. Um, I thought Derek Jones was gone too, but um, there's been some stuff I think with Cleveland where he's been tied to. So he might be. Really close with Bam, so maybe Bam puts in the word to keep him there or something like that. But he wasn't getting any minutes at the end. Um, he's really turned himself into something though from what he was, and he's also only 23. I mean, he's super young, so that's that. Uh, I think Duncan and Nunn could be good assets in a trade. I don't know, man. Kawhi Leonard, isn't he on a 1-year opt out? Not happy with that Doc Rivers is out. Is he not happy that Doc Rivers is out? I didn't even know that was a thing. I don't know. Kawhi's kind of weird to me. As far as I don't think I thought the word on him always was that he wanted to be in LA. So I don't know. The guy, like the guy that has always been tied to Miami is Victor Oladipo. Like a lot of people are mentioning that. Victor Oladipo would love to be in Miami. That's like known. He wants to be in Miami. It's just a matter that, I just think that he's not a guy that you make you don't make all those move the farm moves, and then also, a lot of it has to be looked upon as the Heat. Look, you do have this young core that with Jimmy, like you gotta accept Tyler to get a little bit bigger as far as like, put on those man muscles. And I think there will be a big difference in that because he is a child. And then if you guys go look at the difference between like what Duncan looked like last year to this year, and then if they could do something like that with Tyler, I think that would be absolutely huge. Um, and I think Bam's going to still take monster leaps. I really, really do. And it's a shame that he wasn't healthy in this series. And it's a shame that Gogi wasn't healthy in this series. Somebody explain to me why Jay Crowder missed so many wide open shots while Duncan can't breathe and still hit many more. Well, Duncan's an all-world shooter, dude. I think that's probably why. And there's a reason why they leave Jay Crowder that open. Man, Jay Crowder was unstoppable those first 2 rounds. Woo! Hot damn. What? Tony, you're really a Heat fan. You need to remember that the Heat will force anyone into shape. That they literally have to do suicides. They don't play. Joel or PG will become better there. Okay, Jacob. Well, they literally signed 2 guys to contracts, 4-year contracts that got fatter. I don't know if you know that. He was celebrating with the Lakers tonight, getting a ring. His name's Dion Waiters. He got a 4-year deal with the Heat. So just because you come down here and you give him the old Heat culture try 1 year doesn't mean you're always going to be like that. Greg Oden, didn't work out. Eddie Curry didn't work out. Eric Dampier. Like there's plenty of guys that have come here and it hasn't worked out. This has been the ultimate team that has worked out all great together. So yeah, I'm a Heat fan. I also remember the ones that don't work out as well, Jacob. That's, Dion Waiters and his fat ass in that sweatsuit today celebrating. I laughed out loud when I saw Dion Waiters was Instagram living. I was like, really? Your Instagram live, bro, you had a less formal outfit on than the Ball Boys. Like you celebrated in the same thing that Rick Ross would wear if he was celebrating in the locker room. Whatever. Good for Dion, I guess. Real heart of a champion, tripping balls on a plane. Thought I heard something at my window. Da, 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 da. And honestly, more than anything with Embiid, like somebody says you wouldn't buy into Riley's system. I think Riley would love to have Joel Embiid as far as like Riley loves bigs. He loves traditional bigs. I don't know how much Spo loves the idea of having a guy like Joel Embiid, even though he's, all world more talented than Hassan Whiteside. Um, I think Spo likes having Bam move things through him, having a shooting big. I think that's the way that he wants to go, if I had to guess. Da, 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 brr, brr, brr. A lot of Giannis texts. We're not gonna know. Well, you know what? We'll know what the Giannis. We'll know about if Giannis is up for business when he does not sign that extension. If he does not sign the extension, then business is good. What did he say? Mark Jackson should lose his commenting credentials. He said that the Lakers ain't the most talented team. Well, then who is? But yeah, that's weird because if he did say, I didn't hear him say that. But if he also say that Frank Vogel, he was like, he got very sensitive when Jeff Van Gundy said that Frank Vogel had a hard job, and he goes, he did not have a hard job. So if he didn't have a hard job, one would imagine that, you would think it's because the Lakers are very talented. Thing that hurts though, so I don't know. Mike Sullivan, I'm happy you're sad. Well, I'm glad my sadness can bring you some happiness, Mike. Enjoy your celebration. I'm glad that that you're celebrating. Enjoys hate watching me. So good. Should we re-sign Jay Crowder? I wouldn't break the bank on him. I thought Jay's one of these guys that I really like Jay. I like a lot of the stuff that he brings to the table. But he's also been a guy who's been on a lot of teams. I don't know. I don't know what Jay Crowder's going to command in the market. If they could do like a one-on-one with him, okay. I mean, to me, the biggest offseason with this team, the biggest thing is I want to bring back Goran. That's numero uno to me. And then I guess they got to figure out what to do if they're going to give Bam his extension or if they're going to try and convince him to put it off so they could have free agency space in 2021. So yeah, I mean, I liked having Jay Crowder on the team. They're gonna have Iguodala back. I wonder if they think an Iguodala more in shape can be more part of the rotation a little bit regularly. So, but Goran is my biggest wish list for the Heat. Somebody says Jay Crowder is a bum, bro. Misses shots. He was so good against Giannis, though, dude. He really was. He was so good against Giannis. This is look. The Lakers, what makes them great is they have two guys who are probably more talented than anybody who walks out on the court, and also they're bigger and stronger than everybody else who walks out on the court. And that matters at a certain degree. There's not a lot of guys who can match up like that. I will say with Anthony Davis, I do not come out of this series a bigger Anthony Davis fan. I marvel at LeBron, and I'm still Pope Petty and all that type of stuff. And I always look at LeBron like this. Like I watch these games against LeBron, and I always marvel at his greatness. Is he a little, is he a bit of a show pony where he's like, oh, look at me. Look how much, is he whining to an nth degree as an old man? Yes, he is. Is he, some of these questions where he's like trying to show off the memory? Am I impressed by that stuff? No, people fall for that stuff. Oh my God. They're like, wow, LeBron remembered what happened in the first quarter. I'm like, all right, bro. Okay. But Anthony Davis, again, look, awesome player, but that dude front ran this entire series. That dude remora fished right on LeBron James. And anytime that there was a close game, nowhere to be found, he kicked ass when they were out front in a big lead. That's when he flourished, and everybody was marveling over him. He did have the clutch. He had the clutch ending to Game 4, where he was defending Jimmy. But like, give him the ball, like, go win it clutch, like. So, I don't come out of the. He's an amazing talent. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's a bum or anything like that, but I didn't come out of this series like, worshiping at the altar that is Anthony Davis. I'm like, this dude's a bit of a front runner. Pack says it is what it is. Agreed. What do we do with our draft pick, dude? I don't know. I haven't looked into that. Vernon Davis, Vernon Carey Jr. Burn for Vern. That's my dude. I'm a big Vernon Carey fan, although he is from Duke, and I don't know if the Duke guys are banned. If you're Goron, do you sign with the Lakers? Ooh, if they offer him a fat deal, maybe. Like, if like they swoop in like what they did with Luol Deng, I would imagine the Lakers are probably gonna. I know, when did they bring back Rondo? I mean, Rondo was just pretty excellent for them in the most important game of the year. So, they probably don't have to go all in on a guy like Goron. What about Haslam? I don't know. That's a good question. I wouldn't be surprised if Haslam retires. I think that Haslam wanted a year where the team was in good hands. It's up to him ultimately. Like, if he wants to come back, I think the team will always leave a roster spot open for him. And these series are why I find it so silly that people are like, why waste a roster spot on Haslam? And it's like, because at the end of these things, you're playing 7 guys. What does it matter who the 15th guy is? Who cares? Wouldn't you much rather have the guy who's been there, done that, knows all these types of things, rallies the troops, gets them going a little bit? In that game too, where he's, ripping him a new asshole, the team actually did play better. Like, you play 7 to 8 guys. Who gives a shit if Haslam has the 15th spot? Let him be here as long as he wants. That being said, will he be here? I don't know. The big thing from him was always he didn't want to go out the way that they did last year, and they went out great this year. They went to the finals and won 2 games against the Lakers. So I wouldn't be surprised if Haslam calls it a career, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. I haven't been on social media at all either, so maybe he's announced it or something like that. Who fucking knows? Let's see. Just scoping some stuff out. Goran tweeted out, "We'll be back." He did tweet that out. Goran wants to be back, dude. Goran wants to be back. I think they're going to bring him back too. Some fat 1-year deal. JD, he will make the finals next year. Okay. I don't know why. I love how everybody thinks this is a one and done though for the Heat. Like, literally, like, their best players in his prime, and their second best player is going to be 24. Yet everybody thinks that, like, the Celtics, because they made the Eastern Conference Finals once, they thought they were going to go year after year after year. They still haven't made it. So the Heat players don't get to get better, but the Celtics ones do. That's interesting. Dennis just keeps, tweeting Michael Beasley. So that's a useless part of the chat. So I'll just delete him. Jimmy loves the Dragon. Agreed, Gwen. He and Gogi are BFF. So I think he'll for sure be back. Based off last year, who's stopping the Heat? Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like, based off of last year, I guess you put it up to if the Bucks make a big improvement somewhere, obviously that'll change things. I don't know what assets they have to really improve that way, but let's just say they do. That that they have one of the best players in the league, back-to-back MVP. So I always count them in. Celtics don't impress me. And then the Nets. You have to account for with KD, mostly KD. And I mean, it's great that he has Kyrie there, but they're going to go as far as how healthy KD is. It's not, it's not on Kyrie. It's on how healthy Kevin Durant is. If Kevin Durant's healthy, then you got yourself a battle. We need Blake Griffin. Always gets hurt, dude. Jimmy just signed off on Instagram, like IG Live, or he just signed off because he's going to go away for a while. Let's see what Jimmy wrote. Here we go. He says, "Thank you, Miami, the entire Miami Heat organization, Coach Spo, our coaches and teammates for a great first season. Appreciate all the love and support from Heat Nation, our fans. Best believe we will be back. #culture." It was an awesome year from him, man. What a guy! Like, it's impossible not to feel. If I could stop talking about free agents for like 5 seconds, I know that's what everybody wants to talk about. But this team and him in particular, what he got to go do when everybody said what he did was a loser move. He was coming down here to retire, that he was coming down here because he just wanted his own team, his max deal. He didn't want to be part of a winner. And especially, to be ousted from 3 situations. All those teams are garbage. They're losers. They're blowing up their organizations, all this type of stuff. And he's sitting here, going shot for shot with LeBron James in the midst of the finals. It's got to feel tremendously good for him. And, knowing that he didn't have his full clip, he, the Heat didn't mention a peep about it the entire series because they don't make excuses. But like the first opportunity the Lakers could this year in the series, they were blaming the referees, which I just found a little laugh out loud funny. But that guy went and pulled 2 games for the love. Think about this. If LeBron James got his ass kissed for getting 2 games against the Golden State Warriors, the first one that won the championship, when he lost Kyrie, didn't have Kevin Love, was there with Dellavedova, people smooched his ass up and down, saying, "Oh, he should have been Finals MVP, should have done this." Allen Iverson got a game against Kobe and Shaq. Everybody kissed his, Allen Iverson, the OG. I'm not saying that this is wrong. I'm just saying that, those guys, those are looked upon as iconic performances. This guy goes, his leading scorer, Goran Dragic, snaps his plantar fasciitis or fascia, game 1 of the series. So he's gone. Number 1 veteran option, biggest scoring relief. The only guy, honestly, Goran Dragic is the only guy who could legitimately give Jimmy Butler a break in the series because he's the only guy on the team who's a veteran, who can create his own shot, who can legitimately give Jimmy Butler some rest. Okay? So he's gone. Game 1, out. All right? Then you lose Bam for 2 games. Bam, who was the best player in the Eastern Conference Finals, their best defender, who was already banged up, gets hurt again. He has to play 2 games without him. Won a game without him. Won a game with Kelly Olynyk, Kendrick Nunn, Duncan Robinson, and Tyler Hero, and 2 of his All-Stars were gone. Think about that. Against LeBron James and Anthony Davis, 2 consensus top 5 players. 1 is the best, and Anthony Davis, make him 3, 4, 5, wherever you want to put him. If you want to put him behind Kevin Durant, Giannis, whatever. Consensus consensus top 5, 2 top 5 guys. And he got 2 of them. And that's and you have people in here saying he's not a Batman. Are you effing kidding me? Are you effing kidding me? When you wanted to give LeBron James a Finals MVP for losing, or you want to still talk about Allen Iverson getting a game against the Lakers, you won't give Jimmy Butler some props for doing that without Goran Dragic and Bam Adebayo, and maybe the nation doesn't know them, and that's fine because you didn't pick the Heat the entire time. But think about, let that sink in for a second, okay? This isn't to say the Lakers didn't deserve their championship. Look, this is what the NBA Finals have become almost. It's almost like by attrition. Like, we're starting to go now series after series and starting to say, well, who was healthy, who wasn't, who was suspended, who was out for a game. Just is what it is. You know, Toronto won a series last year because the Warriors didn't have Kevin Durant or Klay Thompson. You know, maybe the Warriors won that first championship without LeBron James because he didn't have 2 of his best guys. But, you know, just do take a second to acknowledge that Jimmy Butler took 2 games from the Lakers, one without 2 of his all-stars, and one with basically Goran Dragic out and Bam playing with one arm. And give that guy LeBron said today, give him his respect. That's great. Give LeBron his respect. Not saying it's not. Give Jimmy Butler his fucking respect too. Guy deserves it. Anyway, I think I'm done for the night, boys. I got a show at 6 a.m. I don't know if you guys know this. Tune in, radio.com app. 6 to 10 a.m. tomorrow I'll be on live. If you don't want to get up that early, podcast will be up right after that. You can listen on demand all day. You can subscribe on Apple Podcast. You could subscribe on radio.com, Google Play, all those types of platforms. Those have our podcasts. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. It's been fun doing these. I don't really know. We've had so much. We've had Marlins. We've had Heat. I didn't even have to, thankfully, didn't even have to talk about the Canes getting the shit kicked out of them by Clemson. But now it's pretty much Dolphins in free agency. So thank you guys for tuning in. This has been fun. We'll continue the content coming up with a YouTube page. I'm sure there'll be some follow-up Heat Media stuff coming up in the days. Hopefully we can maybe grab a couple interviews before the season is up. And this has been a fun, and I got to just say as a closing, like, this has been an incredible year of coverage, for me personally. I said this a couple of streams ago. I can't thank D Wade enough for joining us during the Eastern Conference Finals. That meant a lot. Can't thank Pat Riley enough for giving us some time during D Wade weekend, and all the guys who have just given us interviews. We basically interviewed, everybody on the team this year, and brought you guys some great locker room stuff. The Heat Media Relations staff, as top notch as it gets in the game. I can't thank them enough. The whole crew, Tim, Rob, Nick, Mike, the whole the Maddox, the whole crew, really, really awesome. And we're looking forward to next year, man. I can't wait for the NBA. It sucks now. Another thing that sucks is the NBA is gone. I don't know when it's coming back, and I hope it's back soon. But it is what it is. Love you guys, and subscribe to the YouTube page if you could. That would mean a lot. And that's it. That's our show for tonight. Have a great night, everybody.